There are things in this world we cannot explain, something hidden just beyond our view. Journey with us as we attempt to pierce the veil between our world and theirs. Join us as we pass through the doorway to the dead.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.
Welcome in, everyone. It is 8:02 on the 29th of July, 2021, Thursday night, 8 p.m. I am Dave. Jim will not be with us tonight. He had somewhere he had to be. Steve will be joining us shortly to help me out the show tonight. And welcome to Doorway to the Dead, the 2-hour interactive Facebook live show that streams through Facebook, YouTube, all those good things, all thanks to the WLFE-DB network. So thank you all for joining us. We have a guest tonight. Welcome in Michelle Millions and John McGinnis. We have a guest with us tonight that is a working instructor. I'm sorry, not a working medium. Let me correct myself. She does not instruct at Lillydale. She's a working medium up near Lillydale. And she is the woman who taught Steve and Pam how to table tip, who then in turn, of course, taught Jim and I. Welcome in, Colette. Her name is Bobbi Robbinson. She will be joining us in just a few minutes. I want to thank you all for joining us. Like I said, Jim will not be able to be with us tonight. He had an emergency situation to take care of. It's not him, so don't get alarmed. But Steve Berry has graciously allowed to join in and help me out in the show tonight. Thank you, John. I don't know where I got it. Just found it in the drawer and just kind of threw it on. Welcome in, Linda Bird. So I hope all our friends up in Kane, Holly Cataldo, and Glenn and Susan Williams and their son Nicholas are all up there in Kane with Holly. I hope they're enjoying themselves. Welcome in, Jerry Swope. Upcoming, we have this coming Saturday, we have a movie and a lockdown. So the first thing we'll have is the movie of 100 Acres of Hell, featuring former WWE star Gene Snitsky, who will be on hand for the movie, I should say, and then we'll be coming back to do a lockdown investigation here at the Hoover House. So if you want to get in on that, I'm not sure if there's tickets left or not. If there are, make sure you get a hold of Pam and see if there's anything left. And if there is, you might want to join us for that. It should be pretty cool. Of course, we have just over a month. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We have less than a month now until the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash at the Gettysburg Wyndham. So don't miss out on that. That's going to be bigger, better, and better than ever. We'll be there. Keystone State will be there in full. We should have Miss Haley joining back with us, and Janet will be coming in for that week as well. So the whole team should be on hand. So don't miss out. Stop out. That is August 20th through the 22nd at the Gettysburg Wyndham. So without further ado, let us bring in Miss Bobbi Robbinson.
Hi guys. I guess I have to push the start cam thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
There she is.
Hi there.
Hello, welcome in, Miss Robinson. How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Well, I want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us for the show. I say us because it's normally Jim and I, but Jim had a situation he had to rush out and take care of. But I believe Pam and Steve are going to pop in and help me out.
Okay.
So they should be here shortly. And I thank you for sending me that message and correcting me about you're not an instructor at Lillydale. I was misinformed or just didn't hear it right because I'm getting old. So
No teacher here.
Gotcha. But you are a working medium, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you do your readings at Lillydale?
No, I work from my home near Pittsburgh.
Oh, okay. Okay. Near Pittsburgh. Wow. So you're in the state. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. And Pam and Steve have talked you up so much about how gifted you are. And I'm inclined to believe them when they tell me these things. So I'm on board with that. And they also told us that you were the one who taught them how to do table tipping.
Yes, I did.
Fantastic. Now, where did you learn how to do that?
I learned table tipping probably about 7 years ago from a friend of mine, and then I went on to study it a little bit more, and recently I've studied it a lot more. So there's a lot more to it now.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks for tuning in. And so how did you meet Pam and Steve?
Wow, how did I? I don't remember.
Wow.
It was in Gettysburg, I know that.
Oh, okay. And now, did they know anything about table tipping before you talked to them about it and they approached you, or did you just say, hey, I know this other way to connect with spirit. Would you like to see it?
Well, I was visiting and I just said, hey, did you ever try table tipping? And they didn't. And they had a nice table, so we just went for it. And it was a great night. Steve has a ton of ability. He really does. The table likes him.
The table does like him. Unfortunately, we've found out over the time that we've been doing it with them since that normally, not always, but normally they prefer him to be in the room and ask the questions, but not actually sit at the table.
That happened.
And I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if maybe he smells a little bit or something. I don't know. But we're glad you met them and did that because they in turn taught it to Jim and I. And we do it very frequently here at the Hoover House. So much so that we now have a ban on Steve and Jim from going to antique stores alone because they just keep buying tables. They keep buying. We're going to have to run a storage unit just to house all the tables that they keep buying.
Gotta find the right one.
Well, yeah, and I think they have, between the two of them here at the house, I think there's like 8 now of varying sizes, and they've all worked for us, surprisingly enough. Now they have, it's very strange here at the Hoover House, they have a hierarchy, okay? Both of resident spirits and of the tables, the spirits attached to these tables. Mm-hmm. The top of the ladder is Ira, who is Ira Hoover, the original owner and builder of the house. And he is the man in charge. Any table that comes in, any visiting spirit that comes in, if he doesn't like their energy, they're not allowed. They got to go. A friend of ours named Jerry, who's watching the show now, had bought a table and brought it to the house. We were going to try and tip with it. And you could feel it trying. You could feel the vibrations and the energy, but it wouldn't tip, it wouldn't slot, it wouldn't move anything. And so we put it to the side and got one of the other tables that we knew would work here. And we found out through Ira connecting with us that he did not like the energy attached to that table, didn't want it in his house.
Okay.
So we said, well, can we just leave it out in the garage? He said, no, I don't even want it on my property. So we wound up getting a hold of John Zavis, who told us how to salt it, and then to let me move over a little bit for you, Steve. To salt it and then give it away to another group because he didn't want it here. So it's very, very strange. But so far of the, what do you guys have now? 8 tables?
8. We got like 17.
Jeez. He's approved of them so far. So, but now she remembers she met you guys in Gettysburg. She doesn't remember the story of how you met. Do you remember that?
Do you remember, Steve? Because I don't.
Look at house, wasn't it?
I think I just went prior to that.
Yeah, it probably was the store. And then, it was the store and then Lookout House.
I worked an event with her at the store. Yeah.
Yeah. So when are you coming up?
Well,
down. You're up. So we're down.
Well, there's a lot going on, and I'm thinking probably the first week in September, end of August. It's up to Pam what she has available.
Okay.
She's supposed to be coming to Lillydale. You guys are supposed to be going up there.
Yeah. We're waiting till after the bash. So the thing is, we're building a tribute car right now.
I see that.
So that car is going to Flight 93 now.
Wow.
We had a little discrepancy with the event holder of Flight 93 and us and the Park Service. So the people that told us that bring the car another day besides September 11th, we said, well, that's what we built it for. Why would we bring a different day? Ended up being the event holders, not the Park Service. So when the Park Service found out about our build, they wanted it. So they gave us permit. So it will be there on September 11th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, didn't he just add some of that today?
Yeah, the dogs on today. The search and rescue dogs are on the car today.
Amazing.
Because all of them have passed.
They're all passed. Yeah, all those dogs that search and rescue those people are gone. They're passed away. That's how many years it's been. 20 years.
Yep.
Yeah, when you think about it, been a while.
Yeah, the dogs aren't around no more. So, but getting back to the tables, I have some questions for you about the tables.
Okay.
You taught me. I noticed. Did you ever have a problem having a table move or anything tilt or anything on concrete?
Well, a table will tip or move on anything. I was in Lillydale and there was a large oak table, like a dining table. There were 4 of us sitting around it and that thing went on my lap. I'm talking a large oak table. They don't care. I mean, Spirit is able to do anything they want to do. Mm-hmm. But one thing you have to remember is when you're working with Spirit in any way to always protect yourself, because you do not want a dark entity coming through ever. Even in my readings, I don't get anything negative in a reading. Just don't ask for it, because it'll come through if you're not protected. But on concrete, I don't see why it wouldn't. I've seen it go on grass. I've seen it go in dirt. I've seen it go on any type of flooring.
Yeah, because I tried it down in the basement here, and it wouldn't tilt or move or nothing. But as soon as I put plywood underneath it, it went crazy.
Well, that must be the way the table wants to conduct the energy.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
And they're all different.
Yeah,
all tables are different. I mean, I've even worked with them, plastic yard tables.
Mm-hmm.
In Lillydale, I saw one go on top of the other. 2 tables together.
Really?
That, yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a wooden table. It could
it can be anything. Any table. Plastic. The plain old yard table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's new? Now they're gonna go out and buy a ton of patio furniture.
If that works, go for it.
Yeah, it works. What's the weirdest thing you ever seen a table do?
All right. Tables can do a lot of things.
Right.
And when they're working with people, they can go to the person. You pick a name, it can go to the person. Also, the weirdest thing I ever seen it do was go back and forth like this when we told it to laugh. You know what I mean? Go and shake.
Rock?
Yeah, we told it to laugh and it did that. And it chased my dog. We told it to go to my dog and it chased my dog.
We had one table here in the Hoover house that, what's that one's name? The soldier. Oh, I'm bad with
the one that.
Yeah, the one that.
Yeah.
What was it? We named all the tables. We have so many tables, it's hard to remember all the names. But anyway, this table, we got it to go, and Jag, that's it. And this table Jag we told it to go towards the bar. So it went towards the bar, no problem. On the way back, I went, oh, do the boot scoop boogie. And it started doing like you said. It was going like rocking back and forth like this. It was dancing across the floor all the way back.
It can do that.
We said boot scoop.
Right now, our tables have been kind of quiet because if you have someone that is negative or kind of shady, which we did at one time, it kind of like upsets the rhythm. When people start table tipping, it usually takes years to get where you are. Years. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a very difficult, long process. So it depends on ability also. So Steve, you're a conduit. I mean, you have a strong spirit and they're just attracted to you. I saw it with my own eyes.
With, well, thank you. With Jen, Jim's sister, your aunt, right? In-law. She has a table. It's called Emma. She calls it Emma. The table when we first got it to look at a house wouldn't do nothing. So I had my table. I said, "Can you teach that table how to tip?" And it tipped yes. So we kept showing what you can do. Show the other table what you can do. And the table was dancing across the floor like it was the night when you were there and everything else. So I said, "Can we switch to the other table?" And my table said, "Yeah." And we switched to the other one, and then that one started moving. Now with Jen, my tables, if I sit at them myself, I can't get them to move by myself at all. I have to have someone else there with me. All right?
Me too.
Yeah. But Jen can touch her table, and her table will tilt. And automatically, wherever she goes with this table, she'll be sitting in that room for 2 minutes, and she'll have someone with her or a couple of people around there, and she'll start asking questions. That table just automatically go right into session. Mine take a little while. Why is that?
Mine take quite a while also sometime. I have a friend, Heidi, in Lillydale. She can just touch a table and off it goes. Yeah. I have to sit a while. But right now, ours is quiet. You know, we're working in Lillydale. I've only been up there not often since February. So It's a different house, and my table is named Echo. We name tables. We're like crazy, aren't we?
Yeah, have a name on everyone.
But it is a form of physical mediumship when you're working with the table. Physical is when a spirit will come through and do something that you can see, feel, or hear with your eyes, ears, you know, you've got it going on. Then there's mental, which is perception. So when you're working with the table, you are like, you're seeing, it's like EVPs, intuition, levitation, transfiguration. I'm trying to think. All that happy stuff. But then when you work mental, the table doesn't quite do that because that comes from human to human. It's not an easy thing, and being protected is the most important. I always open with a prayer and close with a prayer. That's very important. You clean your table with salt. You want to make your table happy and start it. You have to clean it with salt. Make sure it's moisturized. When you put it away, cover it with something white. It just keeps it as your table. Make sense?
Okay. Did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It keeps it clean. Not from dirt. From negativity.
Yes.
Okay. Now, would you suggest not putting anything on these tables once you have them, right? I wouldn't set a lamp on it or anything like that.
Echo is sitting in the corner with a vase of flowers over there. It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't matter.
Nothing negative.
Okay.
Anything that's happy or bring joy, that's perfect.
Now, which was the table that tried to climb the stairs?
Oh my!
And it was at the bottom of the stairs, was banging on it, and like it was trying to go up the stairs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
You see, we have James, you have Franklin.
James. Was it Florence? I think
it might have been Florence.
It was Florence. Yeah, it's Florence. Florence has a brass bead in the center of her table, and she went over to it was Florence. It went all the way over there. Yeah.
Okay.
And she wanted to climb the staircase. Like she just
really
kept banging.
I use sea salt. I always use sea salt. You can also get like frankincense or myrrh, put that on there and just rub
Right.
it like you're waxing it. Just a few
Okay.
drops. And that clears the energy also. It's really simple. It just takes time.
Now, for those,
a lot.
for those watching, what do you recommend they protect themselves with?
A prayer. Mine is right here. It's a real quick one if you want me to read it.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a protection prayer. In the name of all that is goodness and light, we ask you surround all that are here in this space in the divine white light and protection, allowing only those spirits of the highest and white light entrance. We ask that no harm befalls or follows us in this protected circle, and that this table tipping be for the highest good, all involved. We thank you for divine protection and your presence here and help today. Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
And when you close, when you're done with your table, you have to say a short prayer to thank the spirit for being able to join you in that sacred space.
Yeah, we do that all the time when we
Yep.
close out. Now, sandalwood. I learned from you to use sandalwood.
Yeah, sandalwood's another one you can use. It heightens psychic ability. Sandalwood always heightens ability.
I'll be right back. Leave you two alone for just a second.
Good. And I'll take the spotlight. So, sandalwood, what other oils could they use? You said frankincense,
myrrh, sandalwood. Those are the three I use. And you can also smudge your table with sage. Just go around your table with the smoke. That clears energy also. And clearing the energy is very important because when we buy these tables or they're given to us, we don't know where they were, what they were used for, what they saw, what they felt. I know it's a piece of wood, but it has an attachment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you wipe it down. After you're done, remove all the fingerprints, clean it up, put it away.
Okay.
Mine's in the corner, like I said.
How can one
in
tell
Lillydale, we've been started, like last week, we had one day that we worked with the table. We didn't get it to do anything. There was only 3 of us. I've noticed that I need at least 4 people. It seems to work really well with 4 people. And when you can't get it to go, if you put your hands, remember I showed you that all around the table?
Mm-hmm.
If we all do that, that makes a circle of energy. And that sometimes helps bring spirit through.
Okay, that's good to know. Can they tell, say you went down to a flea market or something and bought a table. I can pretty much tell because, like I said, I feel the table and pretty much know if this table is going to do something, or if there's something I don't like about it, I won't buy it because
I agree.
It's got some kind of bad energy to it. For the viewers out there, though, that might not have that ability, how can they buy that table, bring it home, and know that they're going to be safe with it? What can they, like, do they salt the table, like you said, all that, so it clears it?
You salt it, you sage it, you say your protection prayer, and you're fine.
Okay. But
it's all about your intent.
Yeah. Now,
intention's
do
important.
you feel another spirit can just come and attach itself to that table, a good one? Or, and that, say there was a bad one with that table, and you just cleared it. Now there's actually no spirit to that table, I would think. So could something come through, or no, that every table has one?
The tabletop.
Right.
Look at it as a Ouija board almost, or a spirit board. And when you're working with a spirit board, you're cleaning out the old and bringing in the good. The negative is going and you're bringing in the good. You're doing the same with the table. You could have, my house was built in 1849. It's an old schoolhouse. My tables are inhabited by spirit that live here. Was there a spirit when I got it? I don't know because I cleaned it. And whatever was there was gone probably. But spirit is everywhere. It's not just, it's everywhere. It's with us. It's part of our circle.
And the energy circle we create when we do that, like you said,
Yeah,
brings
put all
them
those
over.
hands together.
Right. So plastic would work.
Oh,
Brass,
yeah.
any kind of table will work.
Anything.
It doesn't. I never tried it on the grass, so that's something new.
We've done it
Anything
out in the yard.
a lot of energy, so that yeah, yard probably. But I just found that weird because like I said, I tried it in the basement, and it wouldn't do nothing.
Well,
And
maybe that was the energy it did not like.
yeah, that's what. Well, it was the basement.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to work in the basement.
So went down in the basement, and then as soon as I put a big sheet of plywood underneath it, it started dancing, which you can't do much on a 4x8 foot piece of plywood, but it was doing anything it could. It actually levitated this table, and our hands were on top of the table. We put our hands underneath the table, but didn't touch the table, and told them to use our energy to lift the table up, and the table actually floated. It went up in the air, which was
That's
really
great.
neat. Yeah. So
I saw my first floating thing. It was Thursday in Lillydale. I went to one of the ladies up there, their house, and they did the trumpet. Did you ever see that?
No.
It's a trumpet. It's a canister almost. It's shaped like that. And we put our finger on it, just tapping it. And it was able to rise up and go left, right, point. I had never seen that before. So I got to make a trumpet.
Well, you're like I think you are in one of the most spiritual places in the United States is Lillydale.
Probably one of the most spirited places in the world.
Yeah. I thought in the world, yeah.
And how I got there, 10 years ago, I started going there, just visiting. And I was looking for a house after I actually got into the assembly and joined the church. It takes a long time to get a house. It really does. And I looked at probably 6 or 7, and then I gave up. I wasn't looking any longer. And then a house found me. And now I have a little cottage there. I'm right by Lucy's, and I take my dogs up, and it's a great place. It really is.
Yeah, we're going back up. The first time I walked in Lillydale with Pam, you know, I was like, well, what can this place really be like? But when you go through the gate, where you come into and come into Lillydale, you can feel the energy in that place.
Yeah,
you just feel it.
no matter
wherever you walk, you feel it. And it was pretty neat seeing this psychic, all the names down all the roads, and the big stump.
Yeah.
There's a name for the stump. Pam took me over to the stump, and the garden, the fairy.
The fairy trail.
Yeah. I had parked my car over there. You're allowed to park in that field in the back. And I had to walk up by that, I don't know what building it is, right by the field there, by the fairy thing. Yeah, and I heard someone talk to me, and I was like, okay, that's strange. Because it was very nice. It was someone saying hello to me. And I was like, who's saying hello to me? And I'm a Mustang guy, so the Mustang got my eye because it was all decked out. And then I started walking away from the Mustang. That's when I heard hello, and I thought maybe someone that owned the Mustang saw me over by their car, but there was no one around. There was no one around.
And that surprises you?
No, it didn't surprise me, but it surprised me because I thought I was going to talk to the Mustang guy. But it wasn't. They weren't there. There was no one there.
The way it is. I mean, you just don't know. Lillydale has so much spirit, so much.
Just walking through the trail, the fairy trail, I call it, the stuff people have in there that they've hung up on limbs and
The little fairy houses.
yeah, it's amazing when you walk through there. And you don't want to touch nothing. You're like, no, I don't want to touch nothing.
Well, there's an old fairy trail I didn't know existed until I think it was Friday night we went down there. It's an old fairy trail, and it's a steep hill, and it's way back in the woods. Now, about those fairies, I don't know about that. But after Friday, I can say I don't know what I saw. I don't know.
Well, you saw something?
Oh, yeah. A lot of something.
What was it?
Wasn't lightning bugs. It was in the deep woods. It was not lightning bugs. I don't know what it was. I don't want to say I believe in fairies. But I saw something many times that I can't explain. Let's put it that way. I can't explain it. Not yet. In time.
So
Maybe
when
tomorrow.
do you feel when you bought that, I know we were talking, this is supposed to be about table tipping, but I got a lot more questions about Lillydale.
Sure.
When you went up to Lillydale to look at a place, did that place, I know there's a couple of places, probably, well, not many actually for sale in there, I don't believe. I think
Right now there are 17.
There were 17 for sale. Did that house actually draw you to it, that you felt that this one had to have?
I had quit looking, and someone wrote me and said this just went up. We drove up there that day, walked in and offered. We weren't even clear through the house and made an offer because the house called us.
Right.
It happens. And that was in February, and we had to do some pretty extensive work.
Yeah, so this is your second restoration is the word I'm looking for, right? So you did the house you live in now.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me you redid that whole house. So
Top to bottom.
redoing this, so that's what I'm getting at. When you redid this house in Lillydale, how's the energy happening there? Do you feel like it's building because you're doing renovations to it?
I think the house is happy that it's being changed and it's being loved again.
Yeah.
It had been empty for a while.
You're by Lucy's, you said.
Right next door.
Oh wow, you're right next door. All right.
Yeah.
I know where
A
you're
little. It was the color of cantaloupe was the color when we bought it, and it was called the Cantaloupe House. So the first thing we did was paint the outside.
What
John
color?
said, "I'm not living in a cantaloupe."
What color did you paint it?
It's country blue.
Country blue. That's nice.
Yeah, and we put flags on it. It's the American house.
It's the American house. So if I go in there, I say, "Where's American house?" I'll know where it's at.
It's patriotic. It's the only one. Patriotic.
There you go. I'll bring the 911 car right up in front. We'll park right in front of it. Really patriotic.
Well, there's only one parking place, and it has our name on it. You'll have to park there.
Park there. Yeah, I know. Parking's a little rough there. I saw that when I was walking around.
Yeah, it's really rough.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's a small little community. I think there's only, 90 houses there? Something like that. Very few people.
You get a lot of snow up there.
I'm never going up in the snow. It was past it was up over my windowsills.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a lot of snow up there. So you have the change of that. How's things at that house you live in, since you did renovations there? Is it any changes there lately, or everything's been?
My house is very spirited, very happy. Brian Kano, when he stayed here, he slept in the loft. He said it was probably one of the most peaceful spirits he'd ever experienced.
Oh, wow.
That's my dog behind me.
I was just going to say that. I saw something go behind you.
Yeah, he's pulling the curtains now.
So going back to the tables, you said you had a big oak table move. So
yeah.
And how many people were at that table when that moved?
4.
Just 4 of you? And what was it
I
like?
could not believe it. I just could not believe it. Huge oak dining table.
We tried moving the one that was at the Lookout House. You remember how big that table was? That was big. We only had 5 people there, so it didn't do anything. But I was thinking, we even had moving men underneath it, so we'd help them slide easier. No, because you put some moving men under there, you can make it slide. That table is heavy. I mean, that thing is really heavy.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, we have one here, has a ram's head all the way around it. There's like ram head, it's carved into the table. And it's sort of really thick, heavy top. And that table, when it lifts, you can actually, the spirits lift it, they get it up, but when they go to bring it back down, it'll get it to a certain spot, and then it'll just go boom to the floor. Yeah, they can't hold it. It's that heavy. For them, but they'll tilt it. And when it's weird because I put felt on the bottom of my table so they don't scratch the floor when they go across. They like to spin, you know how they like that.
Right.
So I have little felt pads on the bottom so they don't scratch the floor. That table I haven't put no pads on, and when that goes across the floor, it doesn't scratch the floor. I don't know how it doesn't, but it's like it's floating. But you can hear it, but it doesn't scratch the floor. And I just find it really weird.
Jack, quit that. Yelling at my dog. My living room's 24 by 24 with the loft in it. And we were in there tipping the table. You know, you run after it sometimes with your, I know people probably think we're bonkers, but you run after the table, you chase it around the room almost. And my floor was so scratched up, we had to redo my floor. So we sanded it and put new stuff on it. And we don't do anything in there anymore.
I've had people that are skeptic come all the time, and they'll do it, and they'll set the table with us. And I find and I tell them, if you don't have an open mind and you don't believe in this and you're negative, they're not going to do anything.
Nope.
And I had some person that, I know darn well that, people I watch videos, I can show you how it's done. It's like for a magician or something. I laugh at them. I've had people put flour on the table to see if
you touched it, yeah.
You see if someone's fingers move on a table would make the lines in the flour. And, they can try what they want. I don't know why they just don't believe it. I mean, I tell them, do it sit at your house at your own and try it. But I think if you're that negative and that skeptic, they don't have to prove nothing to you. It's not like a circus act. They're not going to, jump when you say jump. It's like I can sit in front of that table sometimes with a certain amount of people, and it'll move instantly because everyone's on board with me. All right.
Right.
I can sit there with one person that I think is skeptic, and they'll say, I'm not skeptic, but you can tell they're skeptic. Mm-hmm. And that table will take 10, 15, 20 minutes before it'll do anything.
Well, you're lucky because, like I said, it takes years.
Oh, yeah.
Years to get where we were. It took years, but we got lucky.
Yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes I have to explain it to them. I said, if you're going to be negative, they have nothing to prove to you.
Well, you have to respect because it's spirit. You're working with spirit. It's not about the table itself. It's about the spirit that is working with you and the table.
That's now, if Dave was in here, he had a word. There's a thing he looked up that the wood the table's built out of, the tree. Every tree in the forest has a spirit attached to it, supposedly. All right, there's a word for that. I don't know what the word is. Dave knows the word. Maybe you know the word. He would, I don't know where he went. Probably went to have a cigarette somewhere. But he turned around and he'd tell you what it is. But so supposedly every piece of wood or tree has a spirit attached to it. Do you believe that several spirits come from that same tree, or when they make tables and stuff, or just spirit attaches itself to that table?
Would you ever see, like when you buy furniture, it has this great top, and then you look underneath and it's this cheap pine? Yeah. So they're mixing furniture all the time. When you buy even an antique table, you'll see mixed. So yeah, I guess it would do that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy question.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm always having crazy questions, so.
That's a crazy one.
But I was just wondering, I was just thinking, because we looked it up, the history of table tipping, and it told us the whole story about the forest and, the wood and these,
the energies.
Yeah, the energies. There's a name for it, and I don't know if someone in chat may know it, but it's amazing, when I never did this until I met you, and when you said, we're at the look at. Well, remember the first time we tried it, it didn't probably work because I was negative, to be honest with you at first. if you remember, we had that oval table we brought
Yeah.
out.
Then we
Look
got
at
a
how
different one.
with Mary's head was on it. We took it off and we tried. It didn't do nothing. Remember, it wouldn't move. And we were there for like, I don't know, a half hour at that table. And you said, "Do you have another table?" And that's when I went upstairs and got the pie table. And then we brought that into the what I call the purple room, the cigar room, and that's when it took off. And honestly, I never saw that before, so I was totally amazed. I was shocked.
I
And
was amazed when I saw it.
that changed my whole outlook because I know I was skeptic in the beginning, and I sat there and I said, "You know what? Maybe that's why that table didn't move in the beginning because I was skeptic." And I was saying, "This ain't gonna happen. I don't believe tables can move across the floor." Until I said, "Open my mind up," like you told me to. Open your mind up. You got the ability. Just do it. And I listened to you, and bam, it went right away for us.
Right.
And
It's
we were
interesting.
singing those songs too.
Well, Ring Around the Rosie, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. I mean,
Yeah.
things like that. They're older songs that Spirit sang back in the day, and it raises the energy. Once you raise the energy, Spirit's able to come through a lot clearer.
Right, right.
So we can't sing, but we sing anyway.
Anyway, it was enjoyable that night. Do you find any other things bring spirits to the table besides music?
Intent. That's about it. And music.
Uh-huh.
Never seen anything else work. But I know also if a room is cluttered and not clean, Spirit doesn't like to work through that. They want a clean space.
They want distance too, because when they start moving that table across the floor, they'll travel wherever if you don't ask them to go in a direction, they'll go in their own directions. And here's the funny thing is when we were in the lookout house, okay, we were start asking the tables if there was anything they wanted us or they knew of was hidden in the house. And they tilted yes. So we went through each room saying, is it in this room? Table and tip. Is it in this room? Table and tip. We said the attic, it tilted. So Dave says, let's go check the attic. Boom. We left the table, closed the table, told the table we'll be back. We went upstairs and searched the attic. We end up, couldn't find anything, looking on the floorboards, everything else. And I looked up in the rafter, and I see something shiny up there, and I said to Dave, I said, there's something up in that rafter way up there. Can you reach it for me? And he pulled it down. It was a green tray from the girl whose granddaughter, who owned the house. It was her granddaughter's tray that she hand painted her name on it with her finger. And it was pretty cool. We had that tray. It was pretty cool.
In spirit?
Excuse me?
Is she in spirit?
Yeah. She passed in 1997, I think.
So she probably led you to that.
Yeah, and no one would ever know it was up there. It was like in this rafter, way high. And I'm like, why would someone put that up there though? That's what I didn't understand why it was up there in the first place.
There's a lot of whys when you work with spirit. A lot.
So we had another thing. We were told, is there anything else you want us to find? And it said it was jewelry. I think you asked the question at the lookout house, right?
Yes, was a piece of jewelry.
So we said, so Dave went through a whole bunch of things. Is it a bracelet? Is it a necklace? And when he got to ring, it tilted on a ring. And he said, was this a wedding ring? And it tilted yes. So we asked again, where is this ring at? And it said the basement. And we went down, and the girls went down. And, well, first we looked for it. We couldn't find it. And that was like, we waited like a couple more months, and we couldn't find it. So we asked again. And it told us again in another session, the basement. And it gave us a hint by a window. So Stephanie, Pam's friend, went down there, and they were looking around. There's only 2 windows it could be around. So they went around. She reached up on top of the sill and moved her hand and found a ring up there.
It's amazing.
And then,
yeah,
then we found thing up in the
I
air.
told her, yeah, no, we
plate.
found it. We found the plate first.
Yeah.
Then we found the ring. I told her about that plate 3 days back now, so he'll tell you about that green tray. What was the name on that? You remember?
Joyce.
Joyce. That's it. Joyce.
And we while we're asking about this plate that we had found, the table's telling us yes and no, and the stuff that it's saying yes, the paperwork that Pam and Stephanie were looking through, that we had documentation about the house, was confirming it.
Wow. You know, when we talk about table tipping, people can look at us like we have two heads. You know that, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We
yeah.
say it all the time.
But the way you reason that out is you explain it's a way to communicate with spirit. It's you have a Ouija board. You put your hands on it. Your energy makes it move, correct?
Right.
Basically, with a table, your energy makes that move. You call spirit in and you make that move. So it's not as crazy as you think it is when you figure that out. And your tables, are they naming themselves?
Yes. We have them spell their name.
That's important.
Yep. So we do that, and we and it's funny because sometimes they'll start spelling it, and then I'll get it in my head. They'll tell me their name, and no one else can hear it, of course. And I'll say, "Is your name this?" And I'll just tilt yes, so we don't have to go through the whole alphabet. Because once I start getting similar, it's like I don't want to do this. I'll just tell you my name, and it comes in. I think that happened to Bob because I didn't name Emma. Bob named Emma, if I'm correct.
Jen's in
Jen's
here.
in here. So
You have a lot of ability, Steve. A lot of ability.
So
When I first met you, I seen it.
Yeah. So what I do now is, and Jen's on here too. She can verify. Is they don't. I find they don't want me at the table now. They want me around the table because they want me to be the communicator. So what happened is we had a neighbor over here when we moved into the Hoover house. He came over with his girlfriend, and Jim says, we're going to do a session. You sit around the table. And at first they started a session. They said, "You want Steve at the table?" And they said, "No." All right, they didn't want me at the table. So I said, "Fine." So I sat outside the table, and I found out why, because they started communicating with me. When I'm around the table now, what I'm finding is they talk to me. And like you said, people are looking at me. I got two heads right now, probably. But it's true, and I can prove it because the girl that was sitting at the table turned around. And I said to her out of the blue, I was told in my head, "We have a secret from high school." So I said, "You have a girlfriend and she's no longer here?" She goes, "I have a couple of them." I said, "Well, this one says you had a secret in high school and you made a promise to each other that you would never tell that secret." She turned around like her head spun like The Exorcist, looked at me and said, "How do you know that?" I said, "I was just told that." And then it kept going. And I said to her, I said, "I hate to say this to you, but I'm going to say it." I said, was this girl died in an accident?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh God." And I got the word mutilated. It came, and I said, "Was she mutilated?" And she says, "Oh, you didn't see it on the news?" I said, "No, her girlfriend, a week before we did this session, was on Route 81. They went off the highway. She was ejected out of the car, landed in the oncoming traffic, and 18-wheelers ran her over."
So now you're doing readings?
I'm not. It just ask Dave. Just comes to me. How many times I've been 99.9% accurate on every time I sit around that table. They'll tell me what to ask the people, and I had one the other day. I said, "Who owns a John Deere tractor?" And everyone at the table's like, "Oh." I said, "No, this is a big farm tractor, like a farm wall." And then the lady goes, "Oh my God, that's my grandfather's tractor." And I'm like, "Well, he's here." And then he says, "Is so-and-so's grandfather here?" And the table tips up. Yeah. And
So now you're doing readings.
I guess, yeah, I'm doing
Yeah.
readings. I'm just
Absolutely.
But if I'm sitting here and and Dave asked me to do a reading on him, I can't do it. It's a reading through the table. It's weird.
Well, everybody gets a tool. Some use cards.
Right.
Some use them rods. Some use their head. You don't know what they're going to use. My thing's cards. That's my tool. Do I read cards? No. Do I lay them down? Yes. It's my tool. So yours is a table.
Right. Mine's a table.
Moving right along, Steve. What's next?
I have no clue.
Next is going to pick the lotto.
Yeah, right? We get the lotto tickets.
Yeah, a lot of clients will say, can you give me the number? And it's like, if I knew, I wouldn't be sitting here. Would I?
Yeah, right.
Look what Jenny said.
What did you say? Well, what did you say? I can't sound on my glasses.
Right
Steve is a tool.
there.
I
That
see
means
the tool.
well, we knew that.
Steve is a tool.
I am a tool.
But table talk
Jenny's on here now. Jenny could, if she types in there, she'll tell you that.
to be fun. It's to be fun. No negativity. You keep laughter and you make it a happy thing.
Our spirits in the house, actually, we have Ira Hoover in here. And he doesn't, he's like.
But he's got a vetting process.
He's got a vetting process that he doesn't allow.
Like you're trying to come into the country.
Yeah, so he doesn't allow no bad spirits in his house. He won't. He has his own table here. And when we use him, or like if we use Emma too, especially Emma, Jen will ask him, is this spirit bad? Is that why this table's not moving? And he'll tilt yes. And she goes, did you get rid of it? And he'll tilt yes. So he vetted that out. It's gone. And that's how Ira is here. He doesn't allow nothing bad in this house.
Well, that's a plus. It's a good thing.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. I guess he figured there was enough tragedy in this house that.
Well, he tells us there's a portal in this house, and that portal happens to be in my closet in my bedroom, which is really weird because our closets in our bedroom go underneath the house and down the eaves, so they're pretty long. Like you can almost put a bedroom in them.
They're like walkouts.
Yeah, they're like big walk-in closet. I mean, they're huge.
Wow.
And it's the one when you come to my bedroom, it's the one to the left. They say where the portal is. And the funny thing is, in that closet, there's speakers. And I was in there, we're doing a session with Jim, and then Jack Kenneth, Carly, which was with Jack. Carly was in there, and Jack was in there, and it came right over. I was doing an EVP session, and it came right over. I said, boy, that's an old speaker. And then right over to EVP, he says, yeah, that is an old speaker. And that was my voice. They answered me. It was like, oh. So it's like just the portal of the house, I guess, where they come through. We had that in the Lookout House, and I believe it was over where the TV was in the living room, that living room area, because I was with Sean Austin one night in that house, and it was about 2:30 in the morning, and Sean thought he had a demon come through on his SB7 radio. He kept saying all these weird things, demon, all this, words are coming through this constantly. So he says, I don't believe you're a demon or whatever. And then we heard this real loud energy burst, like someone threw an M80 in the living room. It went boom. And I said, well, we're not going to have that in this house. And so Sean did a prayer and stuff like that, and nothing ever happened after that. But so I believe stuff can come through them portals. Those,
I agree.
It's an entrance way and an exit way, so they can come through it. I just don't know how to stop them from coming through. Maybe you do.
Hammer
I don't.
2x4.
2x4. They go whack them.
Hammer something there. I have never run into a portal.
Yeah.
They say they're all over the place.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one yet. I know there are places that are a lot of spirit. That must be a portal. Maybe.
Well, we asked every table that we brought in the house. We've asked that question: is there a portal in the house? And then when
Hold on a second. I'll be right back. I got to take that.
And I'm ringing too. It's
okay. Well, it's all right. What we can do is take our commercial. So we'll take our mid-show commercial, and then we'll be right back with Bobbi Robbinson. So stay tuned.
WLFE Digital Network is now on digital television. If you're into ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, and the creepy, then WLFE has a TV channel for you, Paranormal View. Watch all of your favorite WLFE video talk shows on one channel. Shows like Paratalk Radio, Step Into the Paranormal, Skeptical Help Bar, The Creepy Parlor, and more. Looking for something else? Do you support the LGBTQ+ community? WLFE has brought all of their LGBTQ shows like Inside the Drag Closet, Everything Yet Nothing, Across the Pond, and Rainbow Soul all into one place. A new TV channel called LGBTQ Friends. The third channel is Variety Unlimited. Here you'll find a wide variety of talk shows you know and love, like Just Cindy, Card Pulls and Coffee, Real Talk with Dom, The Bipolar DM, Meet the Author, and Movie Review 5. The best part of watching these shows is that they're all available to watch at one location, one website, WLFE-DB.com.
You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Listen to the WLFE-DB podcast, available on Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Check out shows like Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and Step into the Paranormal. Now, on to your favorite podcast app.
This is Dominic Santasero with Real Talk with Dom. You are listening to WLFE-DBradio.com, where our shows are your shows.
Hey guys and dolls, this is Casey DeVille, the better half of DeVille Inc., Baltimore, Maryland. If you're ever in Baltimore, stop in and see me and Tony. Invisible Bree, 5920 Eastern Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland, 21224. Give us a call if you're in the area at 410-400-9641, or look us up on the web at DeVilleInc.com. DeVille Inc., where we specialize in you.
Oh, yeah. Life just got sweeter now that WLFE-DB has merchandise. Show your support by purchasing your t-shirts for WLFE, Paratalk Radio, Inside the Drag Closet, and more. But it doesn't stop there. T-shirts, coffee mugs, tanks, buttons, cloth bags, and more. Go to WLFE-DB.com. On the top bar, click on the merchandise tab and bam, there you go. You got merch. Support the shows. WLFE-DB.com.
You're listening to WLFE DB Radio. Now, back to our program.
And we're back. Thanks for waiting, everyone. I hope your call went well.
Yep.
Is that the lottery number?
Yeah. John got his vacation, so we know how many days we get to go up to the Dale. I'm leaving tomorrow for Lillydale.
Oh, okay.
Glenn and Susan are up there right now.
Well, Glenn and Susan are up in Kane, but they went to Lillydale.
Yeah, they went to Lillydale today.
And
It rained all day up there, from what I gather.
Yeah, it did. So I kind of wanted to get more into what you do, and do you do your readings from your home, and how has business been going, and what I guess prompted you to start using the cards as opposed to another medium and stuff like that?
I've been like this since I was about 8 years old. It's a family thing. My mom, my grandmother, and my son, my granddaughter. It's a family thing. And I found Lillydale, and that kind of made it explode. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I took some classes, and then I hooked up with Lisa Williams. She lives in Lillydale. She had a TV show. Can't remember. Getting old. 64. I can't remember anything.
That's not old.
Getting up there. I teamed up with Lisa, and I did her 12-week course, and I certified as a psychic medium. That was in 2015. In 2016, I decided that wasn't enough, so I joined up with James Van Praagh, and I did 12 weeks with him, and I certified as a psychic medium. I work from home by referral only, and I turn a lot of people away because I'm not in this for the money. I'm here to help people. I don't like working psychically because your life is none of my business. That's how I feel. I don't want to know your business. So I like to work with spirit, and my readings are mostly mediumship. And I'm as busy as I want to be, and that's not too much. I enjoy what I do. I do events in the area. In fact, I have one coming up. I just did one. And I have another one coming up September 25th. It's a big one. It's the Awake Holistic Fair in Martinsburg. I've done that a couple times, and it's a really big, good one. What do you want to know? I'm an open book.
What do you want to know, Steve?
I asked you my questions. You were gone.
I'm an open book.
You've had your abilities most of your life, obviously.
Right.
A lot of people who have these gifts when they're young, they don't have anyone to talk to about it, so it scares them. But obviously, with it being a trait in your family, you probably had a lot of people around.
I had my mother, yeah.
Yeah, who could tell you, okay, this is what's going on. Kind of talk about that and see, how crucial that guidance was in comparison to, people who have these gifts and don't have anybody to talk to.
Well, one thing that's real important is control. My mom never learned control. My mother was terrified. She would get accidents. She would get so-and-so's going to die. I mean, it was terrible.
Right.
I don't get any of that. Thank God. I've asked not to have it. But when I was younger, I remember my mom saying somebody was on my bed, sitting at the edge of my bed, drying their hair. And I looked up and there was someone there. And she wasn't real. She was a spirit. So that's when my mom took me aside and told me she told me what they sound like and not to be afraid of them. That they were, how she said it is, a medium is like a light on earth. We're a light, and we send up this light beam, and spirit sees that and they come to it. So not everybody's light is shining. Some of us have it shut off. Right. But spirit comes to that light, and I wasn't afraid, but I needed to learn control. That's where the classes in Lillydale came in, control. So I've been a working medium for about probably 8 years. Okay. When I first took my classes, I started working, and I love what I do. I've got my website, got my office, and I'm a happy camper. Now I got my house.
Excellent. And here's one.
Oh, the Holistic Fair it's on a piece of paper here. Hold on. Awake Holistic Fair, Saturday, September 25th, 10 to 5 at the Holiday Inn in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Okay. I don't know what it costs to get in. I haven't even addressed all that yet. I'm just signing up. I'll be the one to table dressed in morning clothes. I wear the Victorian outfit. Okay. Working with spirit, why not?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. And it's amazing, though, that, you never walk into a haunted house that's like a 17-year-old from like the mid-2000s that's screaming, YOLO and all this new stuff. You always meet these older spirits, Now, with your abilities, obviously, like you said, you've learned that control, so you let in what you choose to let in. When you come to a place, like say when you come here, is it your, I don't want to say desire, but is it, would it be your choice in coming to a place that you know is active to kind of open yourself up and let it come in to see what is there? And if so, is that something you would do ahead of time, or do you not do remote?
I go to all the prisons and stuff. I'm not afraid. I just protect myself.
Right.
A lot of people go into these places and they want to provoke and they want to cause havoc. Spirit doesn't like that. So that's the one that's going to get hit upside the head or something.
Right.
You have to respect.
Yeah, I've seen people get very violently sick too.
Yeah.
If you're not and non-believers. They say, "Oh, nothing's going to happen to me. I'll just provoke." And then this is all bull. Next thing you know, next day they're sick or they're scratched or sick. They're like you know. But
Well,
I've actually seen people's personalities change to where.
Jeff Leeper had a attachment. Jeff Leeper, do you guys know of him? He had an attachment. Chris Dedman had an attachment one time. I mean, it happens, but it's about intent. I can't stress that enough. It's about our intent. My intent is to communicate with spirit, to know what's out there. I mean, hey, I'm old. I'm going to be there someday. I want to know where I'm headed, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's intent. I can't stress that enough.
And see, that's one of the things that I don't want to say specialize in, but that frequently occurs when we do table tipping, especially with when it's at a public event here. Or even, I mean, it's any time, but it happens a lot more frequently with a public event. We'll get people here, and the tables that we use, especially Emma, but even James and Florence, they are very adept at bringing family members in to people who are visiting to convey that assurance that, you know, it's okay. I'm safe. I've crossed over. I'm where I'm supposed to be, and you don't have to mourn anymore. And a lot of times it'll, if there was, say, a rift, like two brothers that didn't talk to each other for the last 10 years of one of them's life, that brother will come through and say, you know, I crossed over. I've given up all that.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And a lot of times we've seen in just the short time we've been here, those bridges get repaired, you know. And we think, honestly, it's because the intent that we have in trying to help these people get closure or just get that reassurance from a family member.
So do you realize you actually are giving spirit messages, mediumship messages? Like when they stand at the stump and they pick someone and they give a message. That's what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
pretty cool.
They go, but I get picked on all the time. Like I'll be in the room and they'll send that message through me, and I have to convey it to let them know who's there. And it gets very tiring. Sometimes it'll drain me. Like I'll feel the emotion that spirit has.
That's empathy.
Yeah. And sometimes I feel like I get very upset, like I'm gonna cry or something, because they have so much they want to say, and they don't think they have enough time to say it at the table, and so they're trying to get the most important stuff out. What'll happen to me is I'll be at the table or by the table, and one will come through, and then another one will try coming through, another spirit that wants to come around, and then there's like a war going on in my head, and then I have to stop because I get such a massive headache instantly from that, and I leave the room. And then Jen's done that. She's seen it a couple times, right? So I just got to leave because one wants to say.
You don't have to leave. You need to learn control.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm finding out tonight. Like how you said that. Yeah. So.
Control is important.
And they have those classes up in Lillydale, right?
Oh yeah, you can. There's a class every day for something or another.
Yeah.
Every day. I just was up there for Thomas John, the seatbelt psychic.
Mm-hmm.
I took his class. He's phenomenal.
And how long's the class? Is it one day or a couple days? How long is it?
He had one that went for 3 days. That was forensics. And then he had a 1-day class. But I'm trying to think who's up there. Mama Medium. She's from TLC. She's going to be there, I think, next week. Then Cindy Kaza from the Holzer Files is going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably in like 3 weeks. So that's, there's somebody there all the time. Every day there's classes. If you go to the Lillydale Assembly website, you can see everything.
Okay. Yeah, definitely
check that.
Yeah. And the free things, they do message service at the stump. They do it at Forest Temple. They do it 2:30, all message service. So you don't have to buy a reading. You might get lucky sitting there.
I was at the stump. And the funny thing is with Pam, because it was Pam, some of the lady, like, we were separated, Pam and I, So it was like someone in between each of us. So it was a person to my right, person to my left, and then Pam. And because it was like really, seating was like crazy there because everyone, their mother was there. And it was funny because every time Medium got up there, they go, you. And they picked the person right next to me. And then they were going to pick the other one, but I wasn't picked. I was like in the middle. I thought I'd be like a conduit, but I wasn't. They went to both of those people on each side of me, which I thought was funny.
It has come to a point in Lillydale that no matter if you're here, there, you get your message.
Oh, yeah.
Don't laugh. I thought my dog was throwing up.
They bought last year, or the year before.
I thought my dog was throwing up. I had to dash. But anyway, but Lisa told me that I don't need a message. That's why the person that's in front of me or beside me gets it. I don't need it.
Okay.
And when we do our table tipping here and we ask questions, we'll say, I'll make this thing fast so I take care of the dog.
You okay? You okay? Go lay down. Come on.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Come on. Come here. Come here. Okay.
So when we're at the table, we'll ask, first if this is a male spirit or a female spirit, and they'll tip it yes or no. But sometimes they won't tilt it at all and we'll say, are you something else? And it'll tilt yes. So we find out a lot of it's pets.
I get a lot of animals.
Yeah. So we say, are you a pet? And it'll tilt yes. Then we find out someone at the table just lost one of their pets.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, so we'll sit there and we'll say, whose pet were you? Who did you belong to? Someone at this table? Please bring the table to that person. And they'll slide right over to whoever it is. And they'll say, oh God, I did lose my pet. And then they'll ask, is this you, Coco? And they'll go, yeah. It's like, people think that's weird too. They go, that's an animal. How does an animal know English? But they listen to you now, right?
Telepathy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
My dogs have, I found a flea on Journey. So I put cornstarch all over him. And every time he walks by, do what we got to do, I guess. Okay.
My question is, I've had at least 3 or 4 now in the past, 2 months, tell me that I have gifts, okay, and that they're very powerful, but I'm just not aware of them yet. And when things do happen that they say, yeah, that was because of this and that, it happens completely at random. And like one time was a dream that was so vivid that I could tell you details that you normally don't remember in a dream, like what kind of sink was in this room, what kind of carpet was in this room, stuff like that. Other times it'll be, we'll be walking somewhere and I'll say, I just got a really sharp pain in my ankle. Did the person who passed away here have an ankle injury? Yes, they did. Stuff like that. But again, it's completely at random. I never know when it's going to happen. Is there a way, especially if you go to Lillydale, are there classes where they can teach you how to, I guess, I don't want to say turn it on like it's a light switch, but to...
It is a light switch, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Do they have classes that they can teach you, how to determine what abilities you have and then how to turn them on and use them?
It's all about mediumship up there, all the classes you can take. There's one every day, different classes. I think Lisa Williams on her website has one that you can purchase. It's let me think, like $99 or $49. And it's like 5 lessons, and it really helps. My class with her was like 1,200, and it was 12 weeks, and it went on and on forever. And then I had to go to Lillydale and test for 3 days.
Okay.
It's a lot to learn. People think, oh, if you have this gift, what are you taking classes for? What do you need to learn? You need to learn a lot.
Yeah, because you need to learn. I'm guessing some of it is one, like you said, how to protect yourself.
Number 1.
Control. 3, how to receive the messages and decipher them in the right way, like whether you get them as visions in your head or in dreams or directly told you, however the information comes to you, to make sure that you're receiving and deciphering the correct way, so the message you're giving to the person you're trying to help is the correct one.
Well, one thing I've learned, and it was a hard lesson to learn, is to take myself out of it. Just recently at the prison, I was at the prison, they had an event there in Ohio, and a gentleman sat down and I did his reading. And I said, there's a dog coming through, but it's a really big dog, and it might be a Newfie. And he looked at me like, no, I don't have a Newfie. I said, but the funny thing is, you're giving this dog an apple. I don't understand. And then I said to him, this dog's name is Old Man. Do you understand that? And I said, he has a brown and white face. And he got his phone out and opened it up. It was his horse. But see, I put myself in it. I called it a dog, a Newfie, but it was his horse. I wondered why he was giving the horse an apple. I mean, the dog.
Right.
Yeah.
But it came through. And the horse's name was Old Man. So you just can't put yourself in it. That's a hard lesson.
Right.
And no matter how goofy, how stupid, whatever is coming through, say it. Say it. Because
What's the big table we have
it
downstairs?
means nothing to you, but it might be exactly what the person needs to hear.
Right. Right. Which one?
The 4-legged one, the big one that
The
we've been
ram
using.
table?
No, that's the Rams up here. The newer one I just bought.
I don't know.
It has a name. I'm trying to think. Charles, is it?
Well, you know, you got some.
Well, anyway, yeah, I
you
got so many,
damn
new
new ones.
ones.
I don't
So
know
many
which
new
one
ones.
is which.
I see a table and I touch it and I like it. I take it. But yeah, so I'm like the man of tables now. And another thing, I'm the man of dolls too. People laugh at me and say, "Why you collect dolls?" But
I do too. Old ones.
Well, Jerry Swope's on here. He asked me to tell you about the story of the dolls we just recently picked up at the antique store, James and Jesse's down the street. Now, we were doing an investigation here. We put these two dolls were in a basket.
Back to back.
Back to back. And we put K2s around them because something just drew me to these dolls. And we started asking questions, and the K2s were going to red constantly on every answer. Like, boom, it was answering.
But the weird part was, like, if the dolls were back to back like this, we'd had a K2 here for this one holding it kind of like she was holding it, and then we put another K2 with the other doll like she was holding it. And when we would ask questions, whichever one that question pertained to, when it answered, that specific one would light up.
And you got their names.
Yeah, so we there were, who was
Missy?
it? No, but I'm trying to, did it come across the FASLA or somebody?
Yeah, no, it came over the FASLA.
Missy and
Emily, is it? No.
Emily.
Yeah, Emily.
And we said, you know, is that your names? And they both lit up. And I said, okay, can you light up the K2 of the doll that's named Missy? And this one lit up. Okay, so that means the other one's Emily, and then this one lit up.
You have to get that? We can let you get
I'm looking to see who it is.
that.
Yeah, I gotta take this one.
Okay, take that for a minute.
You guys okay? I'll be back.
All right.
Okay.
Hey, I'm here.
I'm mute her so we don't hear her business.
Okay, yeah.
So, while we're waiting, do you want to plug the bash and tell everybody about the
Dunk tank. The dunk tank. Any volunteers for the dunk tank? There's one.
I'm going to be in it.
I'm reading these messages over here because I can't really see them. I'm like,
yes, Linda, we got another Emily.
Jim's glasses are yours.
They're not mine. Mine are at my
Ooh,
truck.
these are nice. Look pretty good in them, don't I?
There we go.
Okay, let's click her back. I just had to steal Jim's glasses, even though mine are on my neck. These are better though.
Yeah.
So I was getting about these dolls. So I ended up purchasing these dolls and bringing them home with me. And I brought them here, and I had had my heart ablation surgery, and that was going really good. And then I brought these dolls in. It was every day after the ablation surgery. I'm not supposed to go in AFib. I was going AFib. So I bought I bought 6 tables in one day.
Oh my
And
God.
one's a big one, right? Well, I got a good deal on them. So before we tried out, we opened the table up and everything, Jim and I, and the table kept going over towards the dolls that I just bought that are sitting on another table. And Jim says, I just got told these are the dolls. They're not evil, but they're the ones that are putting you in AFib every day. They're mischievous. Like, they're not evil, but they're like,
Yeah,
so sure
poltergeist.
enough, the table tilted, like, and actually slid with me and Jim. It kept going towards the dolls. We're like, what the heck's going on here? So Jim says, are the dolls putting Steve in AFib constantly? And it tilted yes. So I took my cross right off my neck, one of them, and I went over and I put it on Missy, because we were told it was Missy was doing it, the bigger doll. So I put it on her. Now they all have crosses on them. But ever since I did that, I have not gotten an AFib again. It's been 6 weeks now and nothing. Now we did a table session the other day, and they were, I think it was Jim, they were not too happy with me, and they found out that the dolls just want me to say hello to them each morning, supposedly.
Well,
They won't bother me. I'm not giving them enough attention. Is what they said to the table I wasn't sitting at the other night.
we play with tables. We play with dolls. What else do we do?
That's it. I built tribute cars.
But you know what? Putting the cross on them, you gave them a gift. I don't know if they realize it's a cross, but it's a gift.
Okay.
So you gifted them, and I guess it cleared off anything.
Yeah, they don't bother me no more. They haven't.
Then you know what you could do, honestly, and we could do this as an experiment.
I'm not taking them to Disney World.
No. As an experiment, go to like a James and Jess and get a basket full of old doll clothes, and then maybe once a week change their dress, and see if they,
I can see people talking now, buddy. Steve's a pervert with his dolls. He's changing the clothes. Nah, I don't think that'll work. Maybe if I give him a lollipop or something to bring back a memory, maybe. I don't know, but I ain't changing their clothes now.
Maybe you could have assistance on that. Maybe Pam will change the clothes.
Because they are girl dolls, so it'd be a little creepy.
I have a boy doll here if you want it.
Okay. You want to get rid of it? Send it down. I'll buy it off you.
His anatomy is correct.
That'll be a better message. Then you'll have to start wearing a Catholic priest now.
Hold on, I think he's right over here. Wait a minute.
Here, go get him now. Gary says he's got a new doll.
Yeah, he said he'll bring it to you. There's the puppy.
Gary, women should not get.
John must have moved it. It's not there. He must have moved it. He's here somewhere, though.
He's right behind you. He's walking around.
That's Bernie. He's the one that's got the cornstarch all over him and it's dust. Come here.
You actually look like you're right in her living room.
I know, like she's got a picture of our logo hanging out.
Like what?
In the picture you're in on our screen, KSPS is sitting up in the top right corner. It looks, and it's on your fire. That's your fireplace behind you.
There's a wall.
A wall.
Yeah.
Our
logo is in the layout.
Oh, there's a TV there. That's
right. Our logo is in the layout, and where our logo hits, it looks like it's hanging on a picture hanging on your wall.
To the right of your
TV.
I
see it.
Yeah.
So that would be cool if we had
cornstarch.
KSPS swag hanging in people's house. That would be pretty cool.
Now she's going to sneeze. You just touch that cornstarch again.
Yeah, like
Here she goes. Right to the nose. Now it's going to be sneeze. 1, 2. Come on. It's coming. She's coming.
Nope.
No. She
No.
stopped it.
She fought it off.
She fought it off.
It's in my eyes. It's everywhere.
So, about how much time in say a calendar year do you devote to going to events like the one you're going to do in West Virginia? And obviously, I'm guessing it's as often as you can going back up to Lillydale to spend some time.
Yeah. I'm leaving tomorrow and coming back on Sunday, then going back up for 10 days after I'm home for 2. John works 2 days a week. He's an RN at West Virginia. So he does 2 12s, and we have a lot of time left to do what we want to do. Because whenever September hits, you lock up your house and say goodbye up there. I was in there October when I did my classwork, and it snowed a lot.
Right.
No place I want to be. Not
So, do any of them up there live there year round or no?
yes. Yes.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, a large portion do.
Okay.
I don't know how, but they do.
So it's not just a summer thing then.
Isn't there a horse buried somewhere in Lillydale?
Yes, in the pet cemetery.
I thought so. Someone buried
The
their
horse
horse in
drowned in the lake. He was trying to save someone, if I gather right, and he drowned, and they pulled him out. He was with the fire department.
That is
Been to his grave.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah.
That is a large hole.
It's there. You can see they have a stone for it and all.
Yeah, there's a lot of animals in the cemetery.
Yeah.
I can't go through it. I
It's a real
won't
pet cemetery. It's a real pet cemetery. You don't
Yeah,
go bury yourself there and ask your kid to come back.
is when you see the grave and there's a ball on it or the collar. I mean, just rips your heart out.
Yeah.
Because animals, I like animals more than I do people.
You never been
Did I say that?
Oh, you gotta go there. Yeah,
We want to
I heard
go.
that.
We want to go.
Yeah, he's gotta go to Lillydale. He's never been there.
Has Jim been there?
Yeah, Jim said. I think Jim said he's been there.
I know he's been to Casadega.
Yeah, I think he's
That's
been
in
there.
Florida?
Yep, it's. I mean, I don't want to say it's the Lillydale because there's no other Lillydale, but it's a community like Lillydale down in Florida. Yeah.
It's where the people summer when the ones that leave Lilydale go there and the.
Oh, okay.
So it is Lillydale. It's like a
Lillydale
part of it.
South.
I didn't know that. So
I
I
didn't
just
know that
learned
either.
something too.
Don't say that too loud though.
There we go. There's a comment.
Wait, we got a question?
No. My favorite place at Lillydale is Inspiration.
Oh, Debbie likes the stump.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, we haven't been going down there because the bugs are so bad. The mosquitoes, there must have been like 1,000 of them. It was terrible. So I haven't been down there.
It's rainy up there.
Yeah, a lot of rain.
A lot of rain, so you're gonna get those bugs flying around.
Yeah.
It's been hot here. It's been over hot here.
Yeah,
Like
here
90s.
too.
Yeah, 90s, 80s, high 80s, and the high 90s. I mean, mid 90s.
We had tornado warnings about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, we have one now. Actually, a tornado warning. Expires 9 o'clock. Actually, expired already. So, but
Okay.
I was going to ask. The question I was going to ask is, when we do some table tipping too, and the table doesn't move, besides pets, we'll ask, is it someone's spirit guide? And it'll tilt yes. I was just wondering, the spirit that, well, I guess it wouldn't matter. My question then. I just answered my own question. So,
What was that?
yeah, no, it wouldn't matter. Spirit, so it wouldn't matter.
Did you derail, Steve?
Yeah, I derailed for a second there.
I do that often.
Hold on, folks. I'm coming back slowly. But,
Oh wow, this is
actually, I got sidetracked by her dog in the back over there with his little tail going.
that's interesting. Lillydale gets more snow and it's colder than Kane.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I would have to see that firsthand because I've seen the snow in the Colton Cane, and I don't say it's cold as hell anymore. I say it's cold as cane because
Well,
one of
Lillydale
the coldest
by
things I've ever
what lake
experienced.
is that?
On the lake. Lilydale's on the lake.
Yeah, what lake is that?
Casadega, maybe?
Yeah, Casadega Lake, I think it is. Yeah, so it's sort of like lake effect snow there. It gets bad.
Actually, Lilydale's an island.
Oh, okay.
It's an island.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it is surrounded by water.
Huh.
Yep.
I was not aware.
Lots
when
of
you
water.
drive by it, yeah, when you go up on, she's right. When I went in with Pam last time we stayed in a house. When you went through the gate, you went to the left a little, and then straight back where there was like the lake goes along the back there. I don't know if it's a lake or what it is. We're butted right up to that, so we can walk right off the back deck and right up to the lake.
Yeah, you're probably at Teresa's. She has a guest house there.
Yeah. I had to climb these stairs.
Yeah, lots of stairs.
Yeah.
So then there are like rooms for rent there.
Guest houses. I think we have 7 guest houses, and there's 2 hotels.
Yeah.
But the hotels are not your typical hotel.
Okay.
They are very old.
Very, very old.
Very, very old.
Older.
Wow.
They are like from the early 1900s, late 1800s.
Yeah,
In my house.
No, there's bathrooms in there.
What they did is they had tents, like them big tents, and they built a house in the tent. And then the tent was taken down. That's how my house was built, in a tent.
She lives in a cantaloupe.
I don't have a cantaloupe anymore.
Cantaloupe no more.
No, it's blue now. How do you know who your spirit guides are? Well, usually you find out in meditation or you have a reading and someone tells you. That's basically it. I have to admit, I really don't know who mine are. I just know. I have claircognizance. It's clear knowing. So I just know. Just know. There's all your senses. You have clairsentience, claircognizance, clairaudience. I think there's 6. And spirit picks one to communicate with you. And if you're looking for your spirit guide, you find that in meditation. There are a lot of guided meditations on YouTube that you can use. Clear your energy, clear your space, lie down, listen, and it'll come through.
Actually, I've just been starting to do meditation, I would say, within the past couple
of
weeks.
Today?
I did it today. I had to take a mobility test for this new job I'm about to start. And to be able to have the test administered to me, my blood pressure had to be taken, and it had to be below a certain set of numbers. So they said if your bottom number is 100 or higher, you can't take the test. So she took it 3 times, and each time it came out at 151 over 100. And so she said, well, I'll give it one more try. And I said, just give me a couple minutes. So she went and used the restroom, and I sat there and just closed my eyes and washed away all the sound in the rest of the building and just focused. And I guess, did literally like a little 2-minute meditation. She came back and took it, and I was at 129 over 92. 119 over 92.
So you made it.
I don't know what. Yeah, she said, I don't know what you did, but you're good. I said, meditation helps, always helps. So I've been doing that, and my daughter has abilities, so we've been doing meditation sessions together. We started out 5 to 10 minutes, something like that, and just, meditate. We'll sit on the couch together and just meditate. We've done that a couple times, and I'm trying to work that more into my daily routine. Right now, it's like 2 or 3 times a week. So, but we're slowly working that into our everyday routine. And I've got to admit, I don't get angry as much. Like my temper used to be drop of a hat. What are you doing? I don't get that anymore. Yeah, just like that. Just like Jim. So
It'll slow down the rattles. I call it the rattles. It'll slow them down.
absolutely, it does.
But meditation's hard. It's guided is easy, but if you try to do it on your own, you kind of derail and start thinking you got to get the dishes done and you got to do the laundry and what's for supper.
Well, what I do is I go on YouTube and I put on the what are they called, biennial beats?
Oh, you do the beats.
Yeah, and I just play that. Now I can't sit with my legs crossed like some people do because like I'll lose feeling in my feet and I'll get all prickly pins and needles in my feet because my circulation's bad. But I just sit and relax on the couch, and when I close my eyes, you see different colors of black, I guess you would say, because if there's a light source in the room or whatever. But it always seems to me right in the center is like a black line, and I just focus on that, and it's like that effect you see in movies where the hallway just keeps going on and you're running and it just keeps going. It's like that line keeps getting further away, and I just keep focusing on it, and it's almost like I'm pulling out.
Well, that's a good way to look at it, and it's working for you. But meditation, for me, it's hard. I don't sit still long enough. I think you notice I'm in constant motion.
Yeah, I have noticed the fidgeting.
Yeah, and that's the way I'm wired. I don't sit still, ever.
So would you say that was one of the hardest things for you to learn?
Sitting still?
Yeah, sitting still for meditation?
Mm-hmm. And I can't do it on my own. I have to go guided.
Okay.
They use this on her.
We can put the real.
She'll sit still with that.
See my dogs. My dogs are being bad tonight.
You, when you're table tipping, your animal's usually in the room with you when you do it. Do you ever notice anything weird when spirit actually comes to the table and starts moving that table? Do your animals act any weird? Like
no, they don't care.
He does. He doesn't shake or nothing. He just his ears, like he hears things before it's going to happen. His ears will go up. He'll look around.
No, mine don't care.
Yeah.
But mine are goofy. They're big old golden doodles. They're 9 years old. They've lived this for 9 years, so they don't care.
Yeah.
They love Lillydale, though. They really do. Here, I live in the middle of probably 100 acres. I don't have, quote, neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have sidewalks. We don't have people. We don't have cars. It's us. So up there, we're on a road. Well, they're alleys. You know that, Steve. They're just alleys.
Yeah, they're all alleys.
But dozens and dozens of people cross all day, walking in front of our house or sitting at the restaurant right next door outside. So they've had to learn that don't bark. That's been the hardest thing, trying to keep them from barking because they're protecting. But it's busy up there. And season's over September. So if you're going to go, you got to go before the first week of September.
Lucy's is the place that has the lavender cookies, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so I know exactly right where you're at.
That's where I am.
Pam gets the lavender cookies every time she goes up there. She buys the lavender cookies.
They still make
them. Get them, or I'm in trouble if I don't take her over there.
Every time I try to meditate, spirit gets in the way. Maybe that's because you're relaxed and you're letting spirit through.
So there, again, that comes with learning how to control and be able to keep them out while you're doing your thing for you.
Right.
Okay.
Control's hard to learn. You know,
we all need a little bit more control.
Well, you went to the class, so what would you recommend me to do when I get two of them fighting in my head? How do I stop the other one? Just tell it?
You have to kind of like have a gatekeeper. And you actually say one at a time. You have to tell them. When you tell spirit something, spirit listens. If you tell them to go away, they're gone. I don't know why people say, oh, this ghost is bothering me. Because you tell it to go away, it's gone. You have the power over spirit. Now, if you get a bad one, what do they call them? I can't say that word, but you know it. You said you can find one of them, but they say that is just someone that crossed tragically, and doesn't want to be gone, and they fight crossing over. Then they get a little antsy and they start doing things. But, you know, it happens. It does.
Remember I told you there's a name for the tree, the wood, the spirit in the tree? What was the name of that?
Oh, a dryad?
That's it.
Triad?
Dryad.
Dryad? I don't know that word.
Yeah.
It's like a wood nymph, I guess, would be the other name for it.
Oh, they probably hang out with the fairies.
Yeah,
oh, yeah, they're definitely fae.
Yeah.
They're definitely fae.
It's like the hell.
Well, they are. They're fae folk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, if I see one of them, I'm going in the woods Saturday night. I'll let you know.
All right.
They'll be dancing with the fairies, I guess. I don't know.
I'm trying to remember how that came about.
I was looking up table tipping, and it told the story.
Oh, that's right, because it was saying that the dryads were the spirits of the woods. That's right.
Spirit of the wood.
Right.
So anything that's cut down, the spirit moves on with that piece of wood.
Right.
And that's what I was asking Bobby before. I said, when someone cuts a tree down, if that's true, how many spirits do you get at that tree, or is it that one spirit split itself between all that wood? Because we get a lot of lumber from the tree, you know. So why would it be just that one piece?
Well, Lillydale has the old growth forest. Then on the way to the stump, and those trees, one fell down a couple of weeks ago. One of the great big ones fell right there in the middle of the stump. So they got that out, and then they had to cut a bunch out of Lillydale in front of the houses. So a lot of the trees now are gone. So maybe I'll just walk around and ask those stumps what's happening.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know everything. I never even profess to. I just go with the flow.
Now, when stuff like that happens up there on trees, especially if they just fall on their own, stuff like that, do they
let
keep
them lay.
You keep that lumber and reuse it?
No,
there?
if a tree falls on its own, they don't cut them back there. That's sacred space. Those trees are left to rot right there.
Okay, so wherever it falls, that's where it stays?
But if it's in the path, they move it to the side. But those trees never get cut.
Okay.
They fall, and they're left there to rot. Some of those stumps are as big as a Volkswagen.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if maybe they would repurpose them for furnishings in one of the houses there, or maybe you could shore up one of the houses, you know what I mean?
Don't get no ideas, Dave. You're not going up there and steal a piece of work.
I don't want to steal nothing. I stole nothing at least a week.
You'll hear in the middle of the night, about 1 in the morning.
And then other news,
get away with it.
Man was caught.
Pennsylvania man was caught stealing wood from Lillydale.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cutting down the tree stuff.
That's way too much bad karma that I don't want to have myself.
Oh, you don't want to take anything from there. You don't want to take anything from there, trust me.
So
I took a piece of bark from the tree in my yard. It fell. I brought it home. It's a little piece of bark. It's in the kitchen.
Well, I think because you own that property, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
But if you go through the woods and you start peeling bark, you might have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you work by referral only. So does that mean that your client base comes from word of mouth from a client you have now?
Right.
If there's another person
client.
and so on and so on. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now, just out of curiosity, how quickly did that spread as far as when you when you first became a working medium? How long did it take for your client base to expand to where it is now?
It was almost immediate.
Wow.
Yeah, it was almost immediate. I work at one place. I do 15-minute readings, and one time I had 24 in one day. Yeah. And that 24 told another 24, and then that told another 24, and then that's how it happens.
See, I can't imagine that, because I know every time you do that, even for a small reading or a short reading, you're still giving up a piece of yourself in each one, energy-wise. So I can't imagine that you'd have any energy left after 24 of those.
I got a question for you.
Do I sit still? I'm constantly.
Since you have these abilities and stuff like that, if someone sits in front of you and wants a reading, and they don't tell you they think they're a medium, have you come across that where someone's tried battling against you, like they're a medium and you're a medium, but they didn't tell you they're a medium?
I've read mediums. I've read them.
You've read them?
They don't have to tell me. I know.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. And you can probably tell the fake ones too.
Absolutely.
The ones that come in and say, "Oh, I'm a medium," and they're really not a medium.
My favorite people are the virgins that come in that have never done it before, don't know anything. They're kind of skeptic. By the time they're leaving, they're like, what the hell just happened?
Exactly, yeah.
That's the best. Because it completely changes everything.
Yeah, their whole view in the world is now.
I was explaining to her before, that's how it was when she came to look at our house, because we bought one table out, and I was sort of like Kenny when he had the table here, and I was like, we sat there for like 45 minutes and didn't do nothing. The table didn't move. And she goes, the reason why this ain't moving is because there's nothing attached to this table. Right. She goes, you have another table? And I said, yeah, I'll go upstairs. And I got the pie table, and I brought it down, and bam, she was right. It took right off. And I was like, whoa, this, here the skeptic Steve went from skeptic to non-skeptic after that.
Well, look at the first time I did it with you guys. Yeah. I was checking for wires and magnets. I went down in the basement, looked up in the joints to see if there was.
I checked everything.
Mechanism, anything, and I was dumbfounded by it.
So was I.
Colette,
I didn't know the power of spirit. Do you know how much power that takes?
Oh yeah,
absolutely. I know it's a lot. I can't imagine how much.
When you're table tipping, have you ever asked Spirit, besides to move the table, to move something else in the room?
No. We've asked to knock, to rap.
Yeah. I mean, you never asked them to move anything else? Like, since they can move the table and you're there, do you think they need your energy in order to... So they couldn't really move anything else in the room. They can only focus on the energy on the table.
That's because that's where the energy is.
Right. So they can't move it around off that table to another spot in the room and then come back to the table.
I wouldn't think so.
No, because we found that out several times where we asked them to, it did happen in the basement where we had a K2 meter and they were tipping the table, and I said, can you make that K2 meter light up to red over there? And that was with Lawrence and Danny, and who else was with me? I forget who's down there. No, Andy Andrews was down there, and we asked to light the K2, and the K2 lit up from the table. So I don't know if there was another spirit in the room with it. It's very possible. You got a lot in this house that that spirit over there lit the K2 up, and it wasn't the one that was at the table.
Right.
So I was just wondering if they could do that, if they could leave for a second, go over there, come back.
Evidently they can, because I've asked them to knock, and I've heard a knock from a different area. But then again, like you said, it might be another spirit.
Right. That's what I think it is.
Now, what we have seen that was particularly interesting was we were table tipping one time, and we had the K2 on the table, and it tipped the table severely.
And
yet that K2 stayed right in the middle and didn't slide or anything, which I thought was amazing. I mean,
it was like this.
Yeah, it was up on one leg.
And that should have slid right off the table, so it went right off.
It
stayed like it was glued to the center. And
the amount of energy and power it took to tilt the table that far and still hold that device in the center without letting it slide, it was unbelievable.
You guys have come a really long way.
I'm telling you. I was telling about levitating now, how if we just don't touch the table, we put our hands underneath it, and we all just focus on the table, all the believers, that table will actually rise up. And Jen has a little, I call it Thor. It's not Thor, though. It starts with Timothy, I think it is. But anyway, this little table, and you put your hands underneath it, and this table goes really high, and no one's hands are touching it. You can see it once it's up, there's no one touching it. And it's floating up there. It's pretty cool.
I haven't got to see levitation yet.
Lillydale's in New York. Colette want to know where it is.
It's by Buffalo.
Yeah, it's up by
45
Buffalo.
minutes.
Okay.
45 minutes from Buffalo. 3.5 hours from Pittsburgh. No, from where I'm at, Flatwoods.
So about 5.5 hours, I would guess, from here.
Yeah, about it's 4 something. 'Cause I've done it.
Okay.
Depends how fast you drive.
Yeah, it depends on who's driving.
Yeah.
It might be like
It's 9.
yeah.
And with that Volkswagen now, he's having issues with it. Probably think it's about 10 hours.
So I'm gonna make a plan to come up, and it'll be soon. I'm gonna come up with either John, my husband, or Karen, my friend.
Oh, I had one question for you too. I think you said maybe I misunderstood you. I thought you said you could make a table go up a wall. Is that true?
Walk a wall?
Yeah, go up a wall.
No, it went on top of another table.
I went on top of the table. All right.
Yeah, there were 2 plastic tables. The one was sitting stationary, and the other one, she had her hand in the middle of it. And next thing I know, the table went up and got on the other table. They were like that.
Huh. Wow.
That happened in Lillydale, though. It's a different world.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a totally different world. From what we live in here to up there is totally different.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to set up a date. Have you come down? I'll tell Pam. So you're looking at like September, you said? Am I correct?
Well, August is mostly going to be up there. And then I have my clients on the weekend. Then, let's see, September, I don't have anything booked for September yet.
If you can come down September 4th, would be great because we're having our barbecue for the bash people that volunteered. So it'd be a big barbecue. So you can come here, and then we can do some of that later on at night. If you want to come down September 4th, that'd be great. Yeah, I believe it's a Saturday. Can you look that up?
I think that's a Saturday.
It is, yeah.
I could probably do that. I will check with John to make sure he's going to be off work. And yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
September 4th is a Saturday.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, because like we're having a big barbecue, music and stuff. Then at night we'll do a table session, and I'll have there'll be some of the people from the bash which will really enjoy it to see how and then maybe you can teach them, tell them some tricks and what to do and what not to do, and help me out because sometimes I get a little clogged.
Have you done pendulum work on top of your table?
No, I have not.
That's important. You need to try that.
Okay.
Try pendulum work on top of the table. Remember, clear it, set your intention, and go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think your tables are very active, it seems. Somebody's going to think we're crazy talking about tables. Your table is active.
You know when it's very active, which is Jen's table.
It's spirit-filled. Let's call that spirit-filled.
Absolutely.
If you start working with a pendulum on top of it, you can ask yes and no questions and get it to do all sorts of little things up there. I've had a pendulum, when it swung, it would go all the way up like that. All the way up like that. I mean, that's almost impossible, but it will. So you can see the energy. You can see it with your eyes.
I have to try that. We actually just purchased the one table that I think it's the only 3-legged table at a cash town because Jack had sold cash town. So whenever we did a investigation there, the people would sit around the table and make that table tip. So I said, I'm not going to leave that table here. I'm going to take it with me. So I asked Jack if I can have it. I had to switch it out. But we have it here now. So I haven't really tried it that much yet because I just got it recently, but last week.
Maybe we can try the pendulum work.
Pendulum on that. That's what I'm saying. I'd like to try that on there.
And you can use that for clearing also. It spins one way to take out bad energy and another way to put in good.
I'm going to wait until she comes here because it's only a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like a month away, and then I'll learn the correct way to do it. I just don't want to get a pendulum and hold it and don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. I'll bring some up. I sell them, so I'll bring some up. I have some nice ones.
Well, we thank you so much for taking some time out of your obviously very busy schedule to spend with us. It was fascinating, and we can't wait to see you in September.
Hopefully the 4th.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. If it,
Yeah.
let me definitely know, because Pam's blocking those rooms off for that weekend. So you got a place to stay. You don't have to worry about that. We'll take care of you all weekend, and our house is your house. It's always been so.
Well, thank you so much, Bobbi. Have a great weekend coming up, and we'll see you in September.
I'm packing my clothes and ready to roll.
I would never be where I'm doing this if it wasn't for you. Remember that, because you taught me. So
I'm so proud.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're a great
Thank
student.
you. Yeah.
Bye.
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 All right, everybody. That was Bobbi Robbinson. We want to thank her for spending some time with us tonight. I want to thank Steve for helping with Jim not being able to be here.
Yeah, he had a breakdown.
Yeah, not mental.
My eyes are itching up here. I think there's cornstarch got in my eyes. I don't know, but
why don't you go ahead and update everybody on the bash real quick before we go?
The bash is August 20th to the 22nd. I do want to stress something right now, because certain spots COVID's coming back. All right. Not in Pennsylvania directly. Virginia, Maryland, some of the other states, people are traveling. Scares That Cares, I think, is this weekend. They decided to put people with masks on to protect those who aren't vaccinated and stuff like that, or even the ones that are vaccinated. We haven't come to that decision yet. We're going to follow PA rules. We will have masks on hand for those who want them. So they'll be there. If it's mandatory by the state of Pennsylvania, we have no choice.
Right.
But and the Wyndham rules. But right now, no mask mandate yet. If it should come, we will have the mask there for you, or you can bring your own if you want an N95. I just got the blue mask.
And if they're not required, but you still want to wear one,
feel free to.
Feel free, and we'll have some on hand if you need one.
No one's going to sit there and bust your chops because you're wearing a mask. And we understand some people have health problems, and they they don't. There will be sanitation. What do you call it? Sanitizer, hand sanitizer around all the Wyndham. That's the Wyndham's putting them out there for you. New to the Wyndham is you're going to see all new carpet, which is really cool. The whole back room's been all redone. So, and no more tape across the carpet. That's all done. If you want to find where someone's speaking, they're going to be on a TV. There's the TVs in the hallways now. So when you go down the hallway, you can see what time that person's speaking and what's happening around that time. So that's something new you'll see there. We're having what, Margaritaville is Friday. I think Kelly's running that.
The mobile cigar lounge.
Oh yeah, we got a mobile cigar lounge there.
That's going to be great. I've seen pictures of it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, so that'll be there. We got the dunk tank. We did lose a couple of vehicles. Guys ran into hard times during COVID, so we lost Agent Orange. We were going to have Blue Havoc, but Blue Havoc was coming, and then COVID hit, and we had to cancel the bash. Not only did that happen, Pam and I had caught COVID around that time too, so we had to cancel because we didn't get anyone sick, and plus right after that, Governor Wolf shut down the whole state anyway, so it didn't matter. But those guys had to sell their trucks, which is a shame. Chuck Timbrook should be there with Blackout. As far as I know, he's still coming. He does have health issues with his heart. And if he doesn't make it, we understand. Let's not hold it against him.
Right.
He's been there every year for us. But I think he's still coming. I still think he's going to make it. Batman will definitely be there. Yep. We are in talks with the helicopter, having the helicopter back. COVID's changed a lot, folks. So it's made it hard for us to get stuff there. The tents we had with Gettysburg Rental Center, they couldn't help us this year. So everything's on us this year.
There may be an Ecto-1 sighting.
Yeah, there might be an Ecto-1 sighting.
Might be
there. So for what we lost, we gained on other things. So it washes out. We have nothing against Gettysburg Rental Center. We understand the money they lost during COVID, weddings. They rent tents out. They rent out a lot of stuff, and they lost millions and millions of dollars that they can't recuperate now. So giving stuff out for the bash and trying to help, they can't do, which we understand because they can't do it this year, but they'll probably be back next year. But we found ways to work around it, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Nothing else changed. We did lose Dixie and Chuck. They were volunteers for the bash. Chuck died in January of last year during COVID, or February of COVID. And then we just lost Dixie a month and a half ago? About a month and a half ago, she passed away. So what these two have done was, when we were in the Wyndham the year before COVID hit, they came knocking on Pam and I's door with a bag. In that bag, we didn't know what it was. They said, whatever it is, we want you guys to take this bag and keep it for yourselves for all your hard work in the bash, because you don't take no money for the bash. Go out, have dinner, whatever. And I was sleeping at the time. And when I got up in the morning, we opened the bag, and there was $496 in that bag of all $1 bills. They did not want us to put it towards the bash. They did not want us. They wanted us to go out and enjoy ourselves. Pam and I decided we pay for a DJ every year, so let's take this money. And we went against Chuck and Dixie, and we added another $500 out of our company money and bought a DJ system so that we always have music. We had a problem at the bash of either hiring a DJ, and they only played for a couple hours. Then we had the big bash party out in the back, which everyone's aware of, and people stay out there till like 10, 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning drinking. At least you have some music this time. We don't have to worry about Chuck Timbrook having to start his truck up and playing music. Right. So they're not here to thank. We're going to do a prayer for them, a tribute, a ceremony tribute to Chuck and Dixie for everything they've done, and they've done a lot for us. They sat at the back. They were the ones at the back door watching for tickets or people trying to sneak in and everything else. They'll be well missed. Miss them big time. They did a lot for us at the bash. Did a lot for me privately. Did a lot for a lot of people that are out there in this field. So they will be remembered at the bash. We will bring this up again at the bash.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We had a great show. We had a good time. Thanks again to Bobbi Robbinson. Thanks again to Steve for helping me out. And we will see you guys next Thursday.
I just plugged my ghost sound.
Thank you for joining Dave and Jim on Doorway to the Dead. Catch us next week right here at 8 p.m. every Thursday as we open the door to paranormal discussion and more.
From doing so much table tipping?
I don't know.
No, I'm getting